Way back at the van.
This is...
I'm just not sure what fossil
Hi,
that...
I'm David.
And I'm Janine.
And we are Great Lakes Rockhounds.
We live in Wisconsin on Lake Michigan. We're about 4 minutes from Lake Michigan.
When we first started getting into rocks, it was in Georgia, I think. When we lived there, we would go rock hunting at different locations.
Gem hunting mostly.
Gem hunting, yes. And so that's kind of been something we've been doing for years and years.
Yeah, many. Because down there we found like rubies and amethysts and things like that. Oh, I always like to hunt for something exciting. Like I like to find treasure, and so to me it's like a treasure hunt.
I was never into rocks that much, but am now. Sorry. I don't know what I like.
One of the things that draws me to rocks and geology is the diversity, because all over the world we see so many different kinds of things, so many different rocks that are unique to certain areas, and everything has to come together perfectly to make that rock or that gem the way that it is. And so it's really cool to see the diversity. Even in Wisconsin along Lake Michigan, there's such diversity in the rocks and the structures that we see.
I believe heard something on like a YouTube video or read something about euprolites. And so we had been looking just for fossils and things along the beach. So we decided to get we had an old UV light.
Yeah, we kind of laughed saying, what if we could find them on the beaches we go to?
Right, and so we had this old kind of cheap UV light, and so we'd go out there, and I don't know if I think we maybe found one or two at first. But it was very hard to see, so we did some more research and found what kind of UV flashlight that the person who first found the euprolites was using. And so we bought that, and then we're able to find the euprolites much easier.
Dave, you think you're going to find a eupor in the water?
I don't know. I'm looking for fossils too and stuff.
Well, I found one here.
For him.
Look at this. This one is one. I don't know that it's good enough to keep though. It's just kind of tiny. My motivation behind starting the Instagram was I just wanted to show the kids, my own children and my grandchildren, the rocks that we find, and a couple of friends. And I had no idea that there would be more people that were interested in the things that we find. But we found that there are so many people who have a lot of interest in rocks and geology. And we've gained a little bit of a following, which is really cool. But our original intent was just to show family members. I don't know if there was anything else. I
think that was the main thing.
You didn't even know I really started. You were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I did.
And I'm like, starting an Instagram for our rocks.
Well, I think we first realized that, or you first realized, because you were much more active with it than I was. It's probably at the start of summer, so
we had like 500 or 600 followers, and then we had one viral video. And we started getting a lot of followers, and then we had 2 viral videos, and 3, then 4, and we were really surprised. But there are a lot of people. We had a great following from all over the world, and not so much in the United States, and now the United States is caught up, and we have quite a few people who follow us in the United States too. So we have a worldwide following, which is really kind of cool.
So
What's some of my joy in sharing these videos? We have a strong faith in a creator, in God, and the diversity on this planet just blows me away. The trees and the flowers. We are nature enthusiasts for sure. And when we started seeing the diversity in the rocks, we just love sharing that what we have in front of us, we should never mess up or never use in a negative way, but we should take care of it.
We also enjoy people's comments about how they appreciate seeing them, because it's not, you can't go find them everywhere. And so, you know, seeing people get excited about it, and then also like hearing about like little kids that are really interested and want to learn more.
Anytime we can encourage a child to follow something that they're very interested in, we love that. We just love it. We would like to just educate people and show them how beautiful the things that are around them are. You don't have to look far. You can just look in your own backyard. There are so many interesting things out there.
You can find fluorescent rocks, minerals all over the world, different ones, and they'll do different colors.
It's the minerals that fluoresce,
right?
Not the rock itself.
Right, I'm just referring to as rocks, but...
And I'm not correcting you, I'm just...
Yes, she is.
No. Could be magnetite, but I don't think so. It's a cool rock, though. You're gonna skip it, aren't you?
So you can find them. I mean, a lot of them are in other countries. A lot of them, like in
there's
Afghanistan,
Arizona,
and all
Actually,
kinds of.
Afghanistan has, they call it hackmanite, and it glows like sodalite. It's just a little bit more dull than the bright sodalite we see here, so that's really kind of cool.
So it's not always easy looking for
It is
the
not
Uber
easy.
lights.
And you go to out-of-the-way places too.
Yeah.
You can't go to a regular beach. If you do, you have to walk down a mile or two to look where people aren't. So it's really not easy finding them. Some beaches you can find them quickly if they're not if people haven't been there. It's pretty difficult sometimes finding them. Like we'll look for 2 or 3 hours and maybe find one sometimes.
Yeah, but then sometimes you can find 10
Or
or
five,
15
yeah.
within 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
a lot of it depends on, like you said, kind of how many rocks are there. If
The
other
rain,
people have been
too.
looking for them. His new rocks washed in after a storm. So there's a lot of different factors that come into play with it.
People comment all the time on the page that there must be some sickness because of the way that I move my light. And there's not. I just prefer to move it back and forth rapidly because I can see a sparkle of a Uper light really quick, or a sparkle of a red rock, or a sparkle of a green rock, or minerals. I'm talking about minerals. So I can see that much more quickly if I move the light really fast. Other people prefer to move it very methodically, like David. He moves it very methodically, but I move mine very fast. And so it looks like my hand is shaking, but it's really not shaking. Well, it's shaking to move, but it's not shaking for any other reason. Or something, they lick them. That's beautiful. That's gonna be online for sure, right?
We're both teachers. We both work with deaf and hard of hearing students. And so we've been doing that for a long time, both teaching, working and you were an interpreter for a long time, and so we enjoy that part of it too, being able to share the rocks with the kids. We've done a lot of that, kind of brought them into some of the classes.
And the teachers too. They're very interested. The teachers are very interested. A lot of times science programs aren't real strong, and I'm not saying specifically here, but just in general, a lot of times there aren't science programs that are available to children. And so if we bring in rocks and we show kids, it actually supports their enthusiasm for nature and being out there and what kind of job they might like to have. And we've heard from a lot of people that it's supporting their ideas of geology, or maybe becoming a geologist, or at least examining nature for what it is. So many kids today sit inside and look at their iPads or look at the computer, and that's all they do. And they're not out in the sun, and they're not out digging in the dirt or looking at worms and insects or rocks and things like that. And so the more we can encourage that, I think the better off it'll be.